The new Jurassic World Dominion is directed by Colin Trevorrow, the same director who did the first Jurassic World, and it's been promoted as, from what I've seen, it's been promoted as the end of Jurassic Park. And I was going into this movie expecting to be disappointed, because, like MJ said in Spider-Man No Way Home, if you expect disappointment, you're never going to be disappointed. I'll admit, this movie was actually, it's better than I thought it would be. It did take a while to get going. For a little bit, I was sitting there like, I'm just getting this feeling that I just want Universal to cause a Chicxulub Crater 2.0 and just let this franchise go extinct. And I just, as the movie went along, I just started to think, okay, it's starting to pick up. This is actually better than the last one. Dinosaurs and humans have been humans have really been trying to figure out how they could coexist with dinosaurs for a while. Claire, Owen, and Maisie, the clone from the last film, which I thought was a disappointment, have been living in hiding. But when the raptor Blue shows up with her own baby raptor, they get dragged into this whole thing where a company called Biosyn is trying to hide evidence that they are the cause of this potential famine. I'm going to turn the engine back on, see if that helps make it cooler in here, and it is. But when Blue's baby Beta and Maisie get abducted by felons who are on the run from the CIA, working for Biosyn, Claire and Owen team up with this pilot. I can't exactly remember her name, but they also end up crossing paths with doctors Alan Grant, Ellie Sadler, and Ian Malcolm, who are also looking into what Biosyn is doing. And this movie is, I felt like it is a noticeable improvement over Fallen Kingdom. When I left Fallen Kingdom, I remember going on opening day for that, getting a poster, being all excited, because I really like Jurassic World. I love the first Jurassic Park. I think the Lost World is okay. It's it's entertaining, not as good as the first one. And the third one is what it is. Third one's just fine. All that it only tries to do what it really can do, the best that it can do, which is just be some fluffy entertainment. But then when Jurassic World came out, I was ready for Jurassic World because again, we had that long ass 14-year gap between Jurassic Park 3 and Jurassic World. And the Jurassic World felt like a reminder of why I loved the first movie so much. I really like Jurassic World. I think Jurassic World is the second best installment in the franchise. So I felt like it gave the franchise that much needed breath of fresh air, that much needed jolt of life. And because of that, I was really excited about Dominion. And I remember going to see it, getting the poster when I walked into the theater. I never did put that poster up on the wall because I was disappointed. Now, Dominion, I think it's a better movie. I do. A lot of critics seem to disagree with me, but I think it's better. One area where I do think it really lacked was maybe the runtime, because it's a 2.5 hour movie. It does take some time to feel like it really gets going. It takes time to really get to the dinosaur action. So I looked at the clock on my phone real quick, like an hour into the movie, and I was like, there really hasn't felt like there's been much dinosaur action. Like the most action-packed stuff that the most action-packed dinosaur moments that's had already happened were in like the first 15 minutes or so. They were the opening scene and the abduction sequence. But once it gets to once it starts getting into the second half, that's where the sequence with Chris Pratt riding through the city with all those dinosaurs happens. That's when that sequence happens. Right when the movie gets to that sequence, that's where I felt like the dinosaur action really picked up. And right at the end of that sequence, I was like, that was awesome. I wanted more of that. And the dinosaur sequences are actually a lot. I had fun watching them. They were fun. It's just, I felt like it took a little bit too long to get to them. And also, some of the characters, I just wasn't interested in, like the one who is wanted by the CIA. I was like, I wish they could have take some of this guy's screen time, find a way to fit Blue into this sequence, because Blue is a more interesting character. Blue is far more interesting. And also, so is Beta, Blue's baby. Because besides Beta, all of the characters that felt really interesting to me are the ones that are from the previous movies. Dr. Sadler, Dr. Grant, Dr. Malcolm, Owen, Claire, and Maisie was actually more, she was more interesting in this one than I remember her being in Dominion. Probably because if I remember correctly, she's played again by the same actress, and it seems like that actress has actually been working on her craft. Because overall, her scenes are actually more interesting than her scenes in the last movie. And also, the dinosaur effects are actually really good. They actually leaned more into how they brought the dinosaurs to life in the first one. I was like, wait a minute. Is that a puppet? There are a lot of times where, well, you will actually notice when the dinosaurs are CG and when they are not. And I felt like it had a tendency to where you would notice it most were the scenes where they looked more like they were actually puppets. It looked more like they were actually there. And of course, there are some really cool Easter eggs into it. I mean, in this movie, there's one that just came to mind that I'm actually not going to mention, but when you see it, you're like, oh yes, it was actually one that I think I saw it coming, but I was like, yes, that is a cool Easter egg. I remember that. And there's also another Easter egg late in the movie where there's this fountain that has this circle, a hole punched into it to form this circle, and there's one shot. Again, this is in the final action sequence, but again, I'm really not spoiling the ending. And there's T-Rex in the sequence. I'm not going to spoil the fate of the main characters. I'm not saying who lives, who dies, but in that sequence, the T-Rex moves its head from one side to the other behind that fountain, and I was like, oh, you're doing the logo. That's cool. I felt like when it was doing Easter eggs, the most noticeable Easter eggs for me are actually really cool ones. They got me to go, all right, that's awesome. That is awesome. And this is overall a good looking, it's visually a good looking film. It is a noticeable improvement. If you were to ask me to grade all of the Jurassic Park movies off the top of my head right now, I'm giving the first one an A+, hands down A+. Lost World, maybe B-. 3, I'd say a C. Jurassic World, an A. Yeah. Fallen Kingdom, I feel like I'm gonna go with the D+ for that one. But with Fallen Kingdom, D+, Dominion, I'm not sure if it's maybe at its worst at times, a C, B at the best. So I'm guessing I'm gonna go with a B-. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. It's still not as good. I still had fun. And I'm thinking, at its worst, this is if you're a home theater enthusiast like I am, this is going to be a movie to get on home video, to get on a 4K Blu-ray, because it looks really good, and also the sound is great. Oh, and I just remembered, Michael Giacchino did the music to this, not John Williams. And the music is actually pretty good. It's actually good. He did a good enough job at making it seem like it was John Williams, because they still credited John Williams for the main theme. They still gave him credit for that, but all of the original music was done by Michael Giacchino, and I don't remember ever being disappointed by his music, by his score. And of course, this isn't the first time where he's done a franchise that Williams has also done the theme to, and done a really good job. Rogue One, Star Wars Rogue One. So the dinosaur sequences are fun. The score is awesome. The special effects are really good. But this movie just runs too long, and I also feel like these action sequences would have been better if they were paired together with a better story. I just feel like all that they really needed for these action sequences, if they didn't reach their full potential, they were close to doing it. The only thing that they needed for the action sequences to actually do that was a better movie. It's not bad. I really don't hate myself for actually taking the time to go see it. It's definitely what I would consider top half quality-wise for Jurassic Park. So I think I'm going to give it a B-. Oh, also, please don't forget to click like, hit subscribe, and hit the bell. That way when I do another movie review, you will know as soon as it goes live. And for my thoughts on E.T., check out my review on E.T.